All right, we are going live for episode 70. Yeah, that's right. Episode 70 of the On the Hump podcast. With me, I have got the number one Lions fan you know. That's right. We got to say that because it's in his contract. Mr. Bobby Bless. That's right. Bobby, how's it going, man?
Yeah, I wish that contract was so much guaranteed. You feel me, brother?
I feel like it's good time guaranteed. Good time guaranteed, but I have no $70 million
Hey,
for you. Can't do it.
no, but I'm having a good day, man. I'm off tomorrow, man. I'm just trying to just glad I'm just trying to get in with the times because we actually got something to talk about. It's right on time. New schedule about to come out. We hearing all these leaks, man. It's getting realer and realer by the day.
That's right. And of course, we've got a big story happening with your favorite quarterback. And of course, I would like to say Detroit's favorite quarterback, but that's kind of up in the air with how some people have been acting. But Jared Goff has signed a contract extension to be the Lions quarterback for, at bare minimum, the next 3 years with an option for a fourth. And we're going to break down that contract here in a moment. But first, I want to ask Bobby Bless. Bobby, paint us the scene, okay? Set the scene for where you were whenever you heard this news.
What was I doing? Oh, I think I was at work. Yeah, I was at work or leaving work or something like that, and Adam Schefter popped up like, dang, paid that boy that money. You feel what I'm saying? I, I can't even actually remember, man. I just know I like the whole world blocked out that at the moment I looked at the damn thing. I was here on Earth, Elijah. Yeah, that's where I was at, buddy.
You
But
know,
but I think I just think it's a good thing though. With winning comes that kind of stuff. So I don't know if we're gonna go into it now, but I'll be ready when you do. But yeah, man, happy for Jared Goff, happy for the Lions, because honestly, Brad Holmes is doing one of the things we wanted him to do when he originally got here was keep these guys around. So he's really doing that one.
yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying right now, obviously with Brad Holmes, we knew from very early on because he set the tone for this that he was going to bring in people that he felt could help this organization, and then they were going to build through the draft. That it might not always be the flashiest picks, but when it came to free agency, they were going to always try to bring in the pieces they needed to, but also take care of their own. And this to me is the ultimate taking care of their own, because this offseason, they took care of Penei Sewell. They took care of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now they're taking care of Jared Goff. And I will say Graham Glasgow was another player who kind of got taken care of as well, but you don't hear him brought up as much because the big three, the big money, went to Sewell and St. Brown and obviously Goff. But I feel like it's good to see somebody who's a man of their word, especially when that works out. You know,
For
some people
sure.
some people have a strategy, but whenever it doesn't work, they cannot be taken from their strategy. They cannot change direction and pivot. Instead they go down with the ship that they were on, that they were the captain of. But with Brad Holmes, he had a plan. It's working, so he's going to stick to the plan, and I love that. How do you feel about Brad Holmes getting this deal done?
Yeah, man. Obviously, I can't say I was in the negotiating room, but it seemed like St. Brown, Penei, all that was tied together. Even though just speaking my money mind, if I was the only if the Detroit Lions have only won 3 playoff games since the Super Bowl era, right, brother?
Right.
So if I'm the guy that got 2 of the damn 3, I'll be wanting damn near a blank check. So the question is, do we see how much Jared Goff actually want to be here and actually want to make sure his the guys that help him win get paid, and he wants them to be here. They're all 4-year deals, if I'm not mistaken. Panay's a 4-year, St. Brown a 4-year. Jared Goff's 4 years. So right that alone tells me that they were all tied together. And
Mhm.
and it seems like, you know, a lot of times we want quarterbacks to take pay cuts or these guys treating themselves like businesses. Obviously, St. Brown and Penei Sewell and Jared Goff is a conglomerate, man. They in it together. So it's a good thing for Detroit that we got the foundations of this new grit team, because I'm thinking about, you know, with Stafford leaving, this was a new regime and all, and Dan Campbell and the guys that when you think of grit on this team, you think of St. Brown and definitely Penei, but Jared Goff, even though he got sent to a place where he was going to be written off, to come in and talk professional and play the best football of his career, and believe it or not, the best football we done seen as Lions fans in a long, long time, shows that he ain't the guy that's just gonna quit. He ain't the guy that's just gonna just because the outsiders say this, he not gonna come in, be professional and win. Cause there's a lot of times, especially in that first season where they was losing close games and stuff, Jared Goff used to say, "We almost there. We almost there. I don't care what outsiders think. I know this team is this and this and that." And he led us through that rough patch too. And to see him come out on top and take us to win NFC North for the first time, he deserved that money just on the accolades alone. So now you got to add in what you now you got to add in all that, add in what he done, took us to the playoff games and all that stuff. So, and then what his potential where he's going to lead us, it's going to be worth a pretty penny. And Brad Holmes keeping this team together. You know what I mean? And that's the main thing that we were worried about when we acquire good talent, because this ain't the first time we had talent, but it's pretty much the first time we can been keeping them.
So just to kind of put this out there for people, and I know for some folks what I'm about to say is not going to be very popular, but for other folks they're gonna understand what I'm saying, and I think Bobby's going to be one of the people that understands what I'm saying. So
Yeah, definitely.
let's take a look at that trade. Okay, that trade that brought Jared Goff here. Now, I'm not looking at the players we drafted, because if you look at the players we drafted, man, that was a great trade for us. Okay, that was a great trade for us to get Jared Goff, get those draft picks, and turn those draft picks into many, many great players that are currently on the roster. Okay, what I want to look at though is just the quarterback numbers. All right, just the quarterback numbers between Stafford for the Rams and Goff for the Lions. So check this out, because this might go down. And I've been saying this, but now it seems like other people are saying it too. This might go down as one of the greatest trades in NFL history that actually worked out for both sides. So if you're looking at wins, how many wins have these quarterbacks had for their respective teams? The number is 24 for both. 24 for Stafford, 24 for Goff. Completion percentage, average completion percentage over those 24 starts, 66%. Same number for Goff and Stafford. Passing touchdowns, Goff has got 78 since he's been with the Lions. Stafford has 75 since he's been with the Rams. Turnovers, they're actually the same as well, 41 for both guys. Success rate, 46%. I'm not really sure what goes into that stat, but again, that is a stat that they both share the same number on. They also share the same number of sacks. Obviously, Stafford won the Super Bowl with the Rams, and Goff got us 30 minutes from a Super Bowl with the potential of going back for more. But I think this might go down as one of the greatest trades in NFL history. I cannot think of a better trade off the top of my head. Now, granted, Nate and Bobby always kind of give me a hard time for being the young fella of the group, right? So let me ask Bobby. Bobby, in your years of being a football fan, can you think of a trade that was better than this one that worked out for both teams?
You gotta give me a second to think, because even though those numbers are even, I hate to be the guy in the corner with your damn numbers, Elijah. But even though those numbers are even, the Rams had a way better talent hand than that. So honestly, the fact that Stafford's is even on that level is underwhelming to me because they had way more talent. But anyway, uh, a trade that was more even than that. I guess I agree because the NFL don't do that much trading. You know what I mean? So I guess I agree, but without just studying and coming to the top of my head, I can't think of nothing. But you know how the NFL works, the good players stay where they at. But
Yeah. So let's get into the contract details because I want to make sure that people have the numbers. Now, these are coming from Albert Breer, okay? That's where these numbers are coming from for anybody that's going to wonder where I got these numbers, okay? So check this out because I thought this was interesting. Obviously, it's a four-year situation, but here are the numbers, all right? So with that $212 million extension, 73 million of it is a signing bonus. That's important because of the cap. But 73 million of it is a signing bonus. So it's my understanding that the signing bonus does not really count towards the cap. So they were able to loop 73 million of that in just the signing bonus. Then over the first 3 years, it's 165 million. And then in 2028, the team has an option for a fourth year, and that fourth year would cost 57 million. So when I first heard the number of like 200, I didn't really bat an eye because like we've heard bigger numbers than that recently. You know, Patrick Mahomes had a huge deal with the Chiefs. So I believe that was like a 10-year contract or something like that, which was out.
yeah,
I mean, obviously they're happy with it. It's worked out for them. But I remember when that was announced and people were like, oh, wow. And then Deshaun Watson got a contract, kind of took the Cleveland Browns for a ride, in my opinion.
man. Yes, he
230
did.
million guaranteed, every
Definitely.
cent guaranteed to him. So for me, when I was hearing these numbers, I'm like, you know what? That's not that bad. That's not that bad. I think Brad Holmes was able to kind of work some magic on that one. And
Yeah,
again,
yeah, you're right. You better get him now because, to be honest, you should have signed him last year before he went did all what he did. You could have got him for cheaper than this, to be honest. One of
and
my
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I do want to say I almost said good morning. Wow. Good evening to Sean Martin and comedian Shay B who are tuning in. Y'all remember to hit that like button for us. Button that greatly helps us out more than you guys know, to be completely honest with you, with the algorithm. Like if people aren't liking and sharing, this video goes nowhere. Okay, so make sure you like that, hit that share button for us. We greatly appreciate it. So let's talk about a different team other than the Lions who actually kind of deployed the same strategy, but it didn't work out quite as well. Okay, when it comes to when they signed their quarterback. So if you look at Daniel Jones out of the New York Giants, Daniel Jones' first 3 seasons with the Giants were kind of lackluster. They didn't really know exactly what they had in Daniel Jones. And so when it came time for them to have that conversation about the 5th-year option, they didn't pick it up. They said, we're not going to pick up your 5th-year option. You're going to play your 4th year, and we'll see what you do. So they basically made him prove it. And Daniel Jones, in that prove it year, did exactly what the Giants were hoping he wouldn't do, which is he proved it. He got them to a playoff game. They won that playoff game, and then they lost. And so now a quarterback that they would have had for a lot cheaper, they had to pay a lot more money. And the reason why I say it didn't work out is because look what happened last year. He was banged up a lot, and you didn't really see return on your investment, at least immediately right out the gate. So that's an example of it not really working. But you look at the Lions situation, Bobby's right. They could have signed Jared Goff at some point last season, before last season really started. They could have signed him to a new contract extension. But Brad Holmes, in a way, not saying that Brad Holmes didn't believe in him or anything, but Brad Holmes, in a way, said, we're going to wait and let's see what happens. And what happened was We had more success last season than we've had in like 30 years here. And now we're going to find out, now that he's gotten the bag of money, now let's see what happens moving forward. I have every reason to believe that things are going to be okay and that this train's going to keep rolling down the tracks, and that barring anything crazy, we should be in that final four, of teams in the NFL. We should be playing for the NFC Championship game again this season, as long as nothing crazy happens. That's my personal opinion, and then we'll see what happens when we get to that game. I personally believe we'll win that game, we'll win the Super Bowl, but we'll see what happens. But my expectations are now NFC Championship game or bust. That's my expectations. But as far as Jared Goff is concerned, Bobby, you and I've kind of gone back and forth on Jared Goff, not in a bad way, but we've
yeah.
Back and forth. And I know one of the things I said last year as the season went on, I was pretty consistent about it. I said, look, he obviously wants a contract extension. I get that. Here's what he has to do in my eyes to earn it. He's got to win the division and he's got to win a playoff game. He turned around and won the division and won 2 playoff games and had us 30 minutes away from the Super Bowl. So to me, ever since he did that, I'm good with Jared Goff. I'm happy that he's our quarterback. But it feels like other Lions fans like to move that goalpost a little bit. They're like, oh, well, he did this, so now he's got to do this. And before he got the money. Now that he's got the money, of course, expectations are going to go higher, as I just
said. As they should.
But I'm just curious, Bobby, because you've been kind of the man on the street talking to a whole bunch of different Lions fans in the last 24 hours.
Man, shoot, taking up my day.
What are you hearing from people as far as why they're not happy with this?
Well, as biased as I am, I like to get people general thought before I really just go nuclear on them and stuff, because sometimes it make they even though a lot of times it be flawed thinking, in my opinion, they do make great points. So it comes down to how they like Goff, to be honest. Because when you like somebody, you can make sure everything he do is likable, with your eyes, right? And vice versa. If you don't like him, you can find a lot of flaws in there. So I get people's opinion. I've heard some as, saying that it's too much, of course.
Yeah.
So that I hear a lot of that. It's not that they don't, quote unquote, don't like him, that is too much. So for that, I say yesterday's price is not today's price. They should pay and believed in him earlier. We wouldn't be paying for it now.
Right.
But that's just, revisionist history. But he worth it though. Resume has to count for something. Even we won 12 games, in
the
won the division.
Yeah,
man. He ended a lot of streaks, as I can say. So I feel like that. And then, like, for the other things I hear about Jared Goff, you hear about it's really not him, it's the offensive line. So of course the line is good. The line is a big part. They say things like, if it wasn't for the line, he wouldn't be able to do this, that, or the other, which is true. I never want to undersell the offensive line. But see, what I say with that is that it's not, you're not able to put just any guy back there just because the line is good. Right. So Jared Goff do make a lot of things go that typically that most quarterbacks can't do. Jared Goff gets a lot of knocks because of his passes down the field, but his intermediate passes might be the best in the league. People don't understand that. We kind of get tied up with the him throwing it deep, but man, from about 10, 30 yards, man, Jared Goff is pretty god dang on accurate. So it comes down to what kind of team we have. We have a bootleg team, and we pass off the run. So he perfect for this kind of system. So that matters too. Because even though we're paying him for what he did, we also paying him for what we hope he can do, and we're paying him to be the main cog in this offense, the piece of the car that makes the whole thing run. So you got to make sure not only we pay him for what he has done, pay him for what he's about to do, but we also want to pay him to thank him because we already, people thought he was the bridge quarterback. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think he deserved all that, and the fact that Jared Goff is just not the guy you want. A lot of people just kind of like, I don't know, I would say like disappointed because like I was telling you earlier, if you can see something negative, you don't want him.
Yeah.
So they kind of disappointed like that he's here longer. That's just the ones that are negative, but last but certainly not least, and I know we're going to cover this a little later too, or maybe real soon, a lot of people want to see Hendon Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see what Hendon Hooker going to bring to the table before we pay Jared Goff. You know what I mean? I think I think I can understand that case more than anyone. And the reason why I can understand that case more than anyone is because he's an unknown commodity.
Right.
When there's an unknown commodity, even with the dang on sports cards, if it's a known commodity, there's always a chance that commodity will end up being a high value person or pick or property or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we haven't seen him play.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also feel like the Lions, they believe in Jared Goff. Not saying they don't believe in Hooker though. That's what my thing of that. But the most valid point of signing Jared Goff, the negative part for me, and I wouldn't even call it a negative. I say one I will open my ears to listen to is the Hendon Hooker, man. Because I don't know. He might be Steve Young, Joe Montana. You know how that worked out. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
never know.
And we will definitely talk about Hendon Hooker on today's show. We are definitely going to do that. I got a whole thing that I'm going to do with that. But before we get there, I do want to bring in our resident defensive coordinator, Nate Rucker. Nate, how's it going, man?
What's going on, y'all?
Big dog.
So,
man, I'm here. I'm working.
Hey, that's the free JMO.
Yeah, free JMO.
You know it.
Huh?
So, Nate, let me, before we move into Hendon Hooker talk, I want to get your opinion on the contract for Jared Goff and kind of let you know what me and Bobby have already said. So, what I said, I went back to what I've been saying, which is my expectations for him was to win a playoff game, win the division. He did that. He exceeded that. So, when he did that, I was good with give him the money, Bobby said, he's been good with it because he believes that Jared Goff came in to a situation that was not the greatest and made the most out of it and continued.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Nate, I want to get your thought. And I feel like your thought might be like a gelling together of those two thoughts. But go ahead, man.
I don't think so. Maybe, probably not. Okay. Man, you know what? I honestly do.
You work mornings?
Yeah.
I work afternoons. That's just hard.
My bad, guys. But yeah, no, I love it. I've always thought that he was deserving just because of the simple fact, like you say, he could have just said, "Oh my God, I got traded to Detroit. I don't want to be here." Blah 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 blah. He embraced it from day one. He looked at it as a way to prove the naysayers wrong. And he was not, this isn't a slap at Matthew Stafford, but from the moment Goff got here, he embraced that leadership. Like his whole mannerism, it was like the Detroit blood shot through him.
Right.
From the moment, from his very first interview. And it was just like, and the thing about Detroiters is, we can feel it. If it's real, it's real. If it's fake, it's fake.
Mhm.
That's one of the things. And it's just the way his approach, the way he carried himself. And like you said, he made the best out of a very, very, very bad situation. And
And
he's
quickly too. It's not no short, not no long run.
no, right,
Quick.
right. He did it quickly. And when you look at how me and Bobby, we've always talked about we didn't need a gunslinger. We just needed a dude who wasn't gonna wreck the Lambo.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: we never even had a Lambo. We started out in a conversion van. So he didn't wreck the conversion van. Then he didn't wreck the Corvette. Now we in the Lambo. So now he got the keys to the Lambo. He can take it wherever he wants. You don't gotta ask for permission. You go ahead. This all you. This your team. Lead it. And he's still the unquestioned leader.
So Nate, got to ask you another question because we talked about this earlier on the program. Do you believe that this is the most equal trade the NFL has ever seen between the Lions and the Rams? It feels like to me that both teams came out on top on that one.
I mean, I won't say the Rams came out on top. I mean, you know what?
No,
I mean,
because they had more talent than us from the start, man. They should have been.
right.
They should have won multiple ones to be for real, honestly. But
That was a problem in in LA, India. He was just the scapegoat. That's all it was. When you think about who truly was dropping the ball, like even when they went to the Super Bowl, they relied so heavily on the running game. When they lost Todd Gurley, then they went to C.J. Anderson. Now you want to put the ball in Jared Goff's hands where he didn't have to do it none of the other time. So now he becomes an easy scapegoat. Well, he can't do this and he can't do that. Well, I never even had a weapon to do that with, for real, for real. Then when Cooper Cup finally comes around, he starts to develop. He's making plays with Robert Woods and all these other dudes. So it's like, wait a minute, like I'm showing you that I can do this and not wreck it. So what Brad Holmes did with all those draft picks and essentially 8 starters from a trade,
he hustled them
it's
for real.
crazy. It's crazy.
Yo,
Eight,
our
eight
best piece,
starters,
our best piece is what y'all didn't even want.
right? 8. Look at what he did with the draft. Literally these, and then actually you can actually go from 8 to say 15 because 4 of those picks he traded to even move up or move back to get another guy that he wanted.
Right.
And so it has done nothing but benefit and restore. I can't even say restore the war because the war ain't never been this strong. Last year, last year
Fair point.
was crazy. It was crazy.
So
You know,
I want to kind of go into another part of the conversation, and this is one that like I don't really agree with how it's being handled right now by a lot of the media in Detroit. By the way, I do want to say a good evening to Jarvis who tuned in and Jalen Phelps who also tuned in. Jalen said, "Bobby, my guy, keep killing it, fellas." So
Thank you, Jalen.
the love, we appreciate it. And remember, folks, keep those comments coming. We greatly appreciate it. The more comments, the better, especially for the almighty algorithm. But as far as the conversation that I don't like that's happening right now, so you've got people that are in support of Jared Goff getting his money, people who don't like the fact that Jared Goff got paid all that money, and then you have a very toxic, different group. And that different group that I'm talking about is they are taking this opportunity of Jared Goff getting this contract extension where we should all be celebrating this, okay? And they're taking it as an opportunity to crap on Hendon Hooker and talk about how Hendon Hooker was a waste of a pick. And so y'all know I have been a Hendon Hooker defender and a Hendon Hooker supporter since he came into this league. So let me just give you the thoughts that I have on Hendon Hooker and what this situation does or doesn't do for Hendon, the fact that Jared Goff is getting this money. All right. So first things first. All right. We have not seen Hendon Hooker play a down yet in the NFL.
Nope.
Not a preseason down, not a training camp throw. We haven't seen anything. All right.
Nothing.
So to say he's a waste, that to me is juvenile. Okay.
It's
Get out of
clickbait.
here with that.
It's clickbait. That's all it is. It's clickbait. People
Right.
just
And that's
love stuff. They
Valeni,
have-
though. That's that Mike Valeni, man. He get on my nerves with some of that
But
shit.
to
he was
say,
talking about, man.
to say he was a waste is stupid. All right. Because what Brad Holmes was doing when he drafted Hendon Hooker, in my opinion, was he was taking out insurance. That's what he
Yeah.
was doing. If Jared Goff would have went out there last season and would have had a horrible season where we didn't make the playoffs and it was just bad, okay, he could have moved off of Jared Goff to go to Hendon Hooker. Now, you look at all the backup quarterbacks Detroit has ever had. Is that a situation we've ever really had before, at least since Stafford's been there, where you could honestly
right.
say, we'll move off of the starter to the
Get me over there
backup
first.
and
You
we'll
should check
be
first, like,
okay.
No, no.
no, just get up, do your
Probably
job.
not.
I ain't practicing like, oh,
Because nobody was saying, let's move off of
Hey.
Stafford and go to Jake Ludock. Nobody was saying that, okay? And nobody was saying, let's move off of Jared Goff and go to Nate Sudfeld. Nobody was saying that.
Right.
You know you're a young buck, Elijah, but I remember when when Rodney Pete went down, Eric Kramer came in and damn near won league MVP. So it's been situations where that backup that's not he good but not expected to play come in and saved his team. So
Right. But what I'm saying is,
oh.
But what
No,
I'm saying,
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, though.
even when Stafford was playing like dog crap, because there were a couple games there where he was not doing good.
Sean Hill could have took his job, but they wouldn't give him a chance.
But
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, as far as you know what they were doing with Hendon Hooker, they were drafting somebody who could be a good backup.
Oh, for sure.
Be the future of the team if need be. Because if you go to Hendon Hooker, now you have somebody on a rookie contract, which is quite affordable nowadays, and you get to pay everybody else around that guy. Okay. So that's what they were setting up. Now they didn't have to do it, and that's okay that they didn't have to do it. We should be excited about the fact that they didn't have to do that. But instead, people want to crap on it and say it was a waste of a pick. No, you know what would have been horrible? Would have been to not pick Hendon Hooker, and then the whole house of cards goes down, and now what? So I still love that Hendon Hooker pick.
Me
Now,
too, though. I like Hendon Hooker.
The way this contract works out, okay, the way this contract works out, it's a 3-year thing with an option for a fourth. That's what Albert Breer said, was a 3-year thing with an option for a fourth. So let's play this out, all right, logically. Let's play this out. So by the end of this deal, if it goes the distance of 4 years, Jared Goff will be 34 years old by the time this contract is done. Hendon Hooker will be 29 years old by the time this contract is done. So you still could see a situation where Jared Goff might retire by the time he turns 34 because players don't play as long as they used to anymore. And you could still see Hendon Hooker take over. You know, Bobby mentioned it earlier, you know, kind of a Joe Montana, Steve Young type situation.
You never know until we don't even know what we ain't seen him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, because I remember before he hurt his leg, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was
sweet.
going to win the Heisman.
So I like, you know what I mean? Even though, like, you know, I'm a golf fan. You know, I love me some Jared Goff, but shoot, I ain't seen him. I at least want to see him play first before. not say that even like he gonna take off spot, but like shoot, can he be the man for you? You never know. You know what I mean? But I feel like Hendon Hooker, like you never know with Ben Johnson, man. He threw the damn ball to Penei Sewell, man. You got to give him a chance to work the off. Not saying he gonna put him at receiver. I feel like Ben Johnson trusts him at quarterback. You know what I mean? You never know.
Well, you and I were talking earlier, off the air tonight about the fact that, Florida back in the day, when Tim Tebow first came on the scene, a lot of people forget this. I know Bobby doesn't forget this, but other people do. When Tim Tebow came on the scene at Florida, there was another guy there. That guy was Chris Leak. And so they didn't
Cam Newton was third string.
Yeah, Cam Newton was third string.
He was third string.
But Chris Leak was still the guy. But they knew Tim Tebow was eventually going to be the guy. So they worked out packages to be able to use Tim Tebow's, athletic skill set while Chris Leak was still there. And I agree with Bobby. Ben Johnson, for all the things that we've, seen Ben Johnson do, it would not shock me if Hendon Hooker is ready for them to work out a package, probably goal line situation, read option situation with Jahmyr Gibbs, because he did that at Tennessee, and see what he can do in that goal line situation.
And one more thing, too. Like, people fail to forget that Randall L. is on our team, man. He is one of our coaches, man. He know how to be that weapon of quarterback, receiver. He know how to get on that field and play football. You never know what they got in his ear. You know what I mean? We picking guys that's that they linebackers and running backs. You don't know what these dudes working on, man. You gotta let them see. Now we are a winning team, so now we are able to take on projects like this to be able to experiment and stuff. When you avoided this here and avoided this here, you can't be having these little projects going on. We are in a position where we got our foundation pieces. Now let's try to get something to add on top, cherry on top, man. And we got former coaches. There's no way you can tell me that Hendon Hooker got all this talent and there is nothing the Detroit Lions can do with him. And I ain't talking about just being a quarterback or no receiver, just putting the ball in his hands, whatever it takes. But of course, I seen him throw, so he can throw that ball. So
and here's the other thing.
Got options.
Here's the other thing I want to throw out there about Hendon. Okay, Hendon, prior to his injury at Tennessee, was on the way to winning the Heisman. He was on the way to winning the Heisman. The fact that we got him in the third round the way we did is an absolute steal. And I don't know many other teams in the league. I'm not saying there isn't anybody, but I don't know many people who can say we have a great starting quarterback, which we do in Jared Goff, 22-8 in his last 30 starts, by the way. And then sitting behind that guy is somebody who would have won the Heisman if he didn't get hurt. I don't know many teams that can say that's their quarterback room. And to me, I love that. If he is never, if he never plays in the next 4 years, I'm fine with it. I don't think that's going to happen. But if he never plays in the next 4 years, I'm good. Because I know that, God forbid, knock on wood, if anything ever happened to Jared Goff, we got a solid option behind there of somebody who actually did it at the Division I SEC level. And we ain't got to worry about, he's doing good for a backup. No, this guy's got a high ceiling. Now, the other thing I'll say about him is that the Lions like Hendon Hooker, and people need to get used to that thought. They like this kid. They wouldn't have drafted him if they didn't like him, but people don't seem to put that together. So let me put two other things together. They like him so much that they brought in Teddy Bridgewater last year. And I told everybody that would listen to me that the reason why they brought Teddy in is to not just help Jared Goff, but to also help develop Hendon Hooker. And then what came out at the end of the offseason? The fact that Hendon Hooker is living with Teddy Bridgewater down in Miami to learn how to be the number 2 quarterback for the Lions. So they brought in somebody to help Hendon. You don't do that for somebody that you don't want or don't see a future with. So we'll see what happens in the preseason. I expect Hendon to take most of the reps in the preseason. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And I'm just hoping the kid balls out. I really do. I hope he balls out. I can tell you that Jared Goff likes Hendon Hooker. So there's no beef there. Any beef that's there is, from the fan base, being ridiculous. But again, I don't believe that you have to put one guy down to raise another one up. We have an
definitely don't.
embarrassment of riches. We have an embarrassment of riches.
We definitely don't.
For the first time in a long time. Let's just enjoy this and see what happens.
Yeah, no. And one thing I wanted you to say, I know you were just speaking in general.
Yeah.
But if Hendon Hooker don't hit the field, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm gonna be lacking faith in what the Lions really trying to do. They put the best players out there on the field because this kid, like you said, Elijah, hurt his knee. It's not like we rushing him back. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that his knee is in very good condition now. I'm not no doctor. But I'm just saying, like, man, I'm betting that he'll do pretty well. So even if I would like to see him be even trade bait, get something for him, not just like right on the Lions bench as the damn backup. I want to see him on the field. I want to see Ben Johnson get even more creative to figure out how to get this kid on the field. And to me personally, if you would have a package for Hendon Hooker, it'd be a lot more easier for Jared Goff to swallow it with the damn $170 million already guaranteed. You know what I mean?
That's right.
But you know what? There's the only downside about doing that is that you tip your hand to the defense.
Right.
Yeah, because they already
that's what I'm saying. So I don't see that as a bad thing, like I say, because how long did Aaron Rodgers sit?
About 4 years.
About 4 years. You know what I mean? You don't just because a guy doesn't see the field and
let him sit there and learn and hope he's paying attention. Right?
You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. Truthfully, you don't even know if Ben Johnson gonna be here after this year.
Yeah.
So then he's gonna have to learn a new offense, learn a whole new offensive coordinator. So. Like, truthfully, enjoy the luxury right now of having a good quarterback, and you have, just in case something happens, you have a guy who technically, by age, is a grown man. He's not a rookie.
Right.
So your learning curve and that rookie wall shouldn't hit him.
Right.
So, he's pretty much already have a grasp of, playbooks and terminology and how to lead the huddle, how to lead the team. So when that time comes, he's already ready. But it's like that's something that you don't have to rush. You know what I mean? That's one of people like, oh my God, I just want to see him out there. Okay, we gonna get a chance to see him, in these blowout games and stuff like that. Okay, we'll get to see him on the field. But truthfully, I hope we don't. Because if we don't see him, then that means that Jared Goff is living up to this contract. We're still heading the right way.
I agree with that.
And we're still the top of our division. We're a top 5 team in the NFL. Like, I want to keep us that way. So if we're not seeing Hendon Hooker, then that means that we're staying that course.
True.
So yeah, as a fan, we want to see what this guy with all these tools, can do. But at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and I want to add something, and I know we've talked about Hendon for a while now, and we got to get back to some other things here. But if you
but he deserves some real respect though. He just like he ain't no bum. He ain't nothing. It ain't his fault that Detroit picked him. You know what I mean? So he I know what Nate's saying too, though. I know what you're saying, but I'm saying like this, man. All these good teams had a guy that did multiple things, or just put like Nate said, to do dictate the defense. But I just want to see the kid be able to be a tradable asset at least. I'm not trying to say he's gonna be the starter or nothing like that. Like, let's get something for him. If we can get somebody to give us a 3rd round pick for him, that kind of thing, then we already earned something.
And that's the thing.
The thing about that is, like, you're not going to lose. He's not even going to lose value with him sitting there. He's
Nope.
like a trading card, legitimately, a whole trading card that's going to gain value because
Yeah.
why? He's not going to have the wear and tear on him. He's not going to have all that, the miles from the league, and so only thing that's going to be left is, hey, we know what he was coming out of college. We know what he was coming before the injury.
Mhm.
So that's a true bargain. That's a commodity. So it's
So,
like shit.
and
Sit on it.
I just want to hop in here real quick. So with Hendon, there's a bunch of different ways this situation could end. Obviously, we're not living in the future; we're living in the present. But there's a lot of different ways the situation could end. It could end with Hooker being traded to another team. It could end with Hooker taking over for Jared Goff whenever Jared Goff's time is done. Okay. It could also end with Jared Goff winning multiple Super Bowls for the Lions and then handing over the car keys and saying, "Hey, kid, don't wreck the Lambo. I helped build it to a certain point. You keep it going, like they did with Joe Montana and Steve Young. So there's a lot of different ways this could go. But the one thing I did want to point out before we go back to Jared Goff, every behind the scenes video that I see of the Detroit Lions in meeting rooms, guess who's sitting in the front row? Hendon Hooker. In every single meeting shot that I have seen, sitting in the front row is Jared Goff, and right next to him, Hendon Hooker. He ain't sitting in the back of the room and hoping that, they don't pick him for a question, okay? Sitting front and center, which to me tells you that he knows the opportunity he has and that he is learning as much as he possibly can. And a lot of the coaches last year for the Lions said straight up, listen, we don't necessarily know what we have in him yet because he hasn't been able to participate in, the practices like a normal player would due to the rehabbing of the injury. But we can tell you in the meeting rooms, he's all there. He's ready to go. So to me, I love it. We have a situation where we got our quarterback, we have a backup quarterback, and the only thing that I'm concerned about is the third string quarterback. And you know what? That's a good feeling to only be concerned about the third string quarterback. Not everybody in the league can say that. So again, go ahead.
And one little glass caveat, I would love to see him get a whole preseason game to himself. Just to
He better get a whole preseason game, man. I'm gonna be.
I've seen him do that a couple times.
I'm gonna be upset if we have to see Nate Sudfeld doing a whole preseason. There's no reason.
Man. Or at least let Goff one drive and then Hendon the rest of the game or something.
I don't even.
I do not want to see
Jared Goff in the preseason. To be,
I don't either. Honestly, I don't either.
Let Hendon get his reps in because you know what? That's what Green Bay did. That's what Green Bay did for all those.
I remember
with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Favre wouldn't really play in the preseason until he absolutely had to, and Rodgers got the benefit of all those reps. That was his season. Your season is the preseason, and then after that, you are the backup. Unless God forbid something crazy happened. But again, I would be upset if we have to see Nate Sudfeld do a whole freaking game of football. Like, no, don't waste anybody's time with that. Let Hendon get those reps. That's my personal opinion. But we do have obviously the schedule coming out tomorrow, so I want to kind of shift focus here a little bit. Bobby, the rumor mill was saying that maybe it was going to be the Lions in Dallas week 1, but we know that.
Yeah, that was whack. I should go slap Joe Chap for that, man. He be acting like he be like so plugged in, man. If he wasn't, that was so whack. He should. Joe Chap, that dude that you know what I'm talking about. That Joe Chap dude to be acting like he a half reporter. He is though, but he was wrong. He was wrong as hell. So my sources, man, your sources ain't shit, bro.
Right. Your source ain't no better than the drunk dude that's walking past me.
Yeah, I'm about to say I got better sources than you, bro. And I work at Walmart and got better sources than you.
You have unlimited resources there, bro. Credible and non-credible.
So let's go to the actual schedule here, okay? Now I don't have the dates or anything like that, but I can tell you the opponent.
Man,
I can tell you the opponent. So this came out back in January. Obviously, it hasn't changed since then, but this came out back in January. Detroit will play each team from the NFC West and AFC South in their yearly rotation of NFC and AFC divisional matchups. So Detroit will host division rivals Green Bay, Chicago, and Minnesota, and they will also welcome the following. And here's what I'm going to ask, just so you guys know. I'm going to ask you to predict who the first opponent's going to be. Okay. So again, Detroit's going to host Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota. We know that. They will also welcome Los Angeles Rams, Seattle, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, and Buffalo to Ford Field. Detroit will then hit the road for games against Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota, Arizona, Houston, Indianapolis, San Francisco, and Dallas. So two-part question. Are we home or away in week 1? And who are we playing? Bobby, I'll go to you first.
Man, I want to play the Rams week 1 in Detroit, going to get that shit out the way, out the early, because later the season goes, the more the excuses on either way. I want to see them at their best. I want to see us at our best. Get that out the way. So you know what I mean. If y'all can boo their ass again, I don't care. And just to be honest, just going. I want to see them first. To be honest.
Okay, Nate, are we going to be home or away for week 1, and who are we playing?
I think we're home.
Okay, so out of the home opponents, Nate, here's who you got. You got Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota.
It ain't Green Bay because they playing the Eagles.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure Nate has the schedule here. So Chicago, Minnesota, Rams, Seattle, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Buffalo.
I think it's going to be a rematch of the playoffs. So I'm thinking either Tampa Bay or the Rams.
We play Tampa?
Yeah, and you were at that game, Bobby.
No, I mean again though.
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah, because we.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at.
Might be that day.
But here's the kicker: you have to look. I mean, you could have Chicago favorite because you had that number 1 pick over there, Caleb Williams, so-called resurgent Chicago offense.
That'd be sweet to blow that.
Right. So are you really going? I mean, how can you not put Caleb and all them versus Detroit, the new America's football team and all this other shit? You know.
That's too funny.
So yeah, but those are my 3 choices: Chicago, Tampa, or the Rams. We're going to be home.
So for me, for week 1, I want to.
Hey, you got to pick one, Nate. God damn, I just thought about that. You didn't
y'all didn't say pick one. You said okay.
Yes, he did.
No, I said first game. He said we're gonna do a handicap match. We're gonna take on all 3 of their asses.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What the hell? It's a battle royal.
Okay.
Royal Rumble style. Who's next? Oh, ding dong. Chicago Bears.
All right. St. Louis. We're Rams. We're gonna go Rams. Whatever.
And they're the Los Angeles Rams now too.
Yeah.
He said St. Louis. St. Louis. He crazy.
All right. So I was going to say for week 1, I was going to say Detroit and Buffalo, but I'm seeing here as of 8 hours ago that September 12th, it's going to be Buffalo and Miami on Thursday Night Football. So I guess technically Buffalo would have a week 1 game against somebody, because the Dolphins game I don't think would be considered week 1. So I'm going to say Buffalo, Detroit in Detroit. I think that might be one of the games. And to kind of, I guess, copy what Nate did, Royal Rumble style, I think you could see you could see Detroit play host to Chicago. I kind of like that idea with the number 1 overall pick and how's he going to do in the division, but it could be Chicago, or I would be happy with Buffalo because Josh Allen's still a big commodity in the NFL. That's a big storyline. And if you remember, the last time we played Buffalo
on Thanksgiving.
And you know what? There's a crazy part to that, is that their number 1 pick, Keon Coleman, is from Detroit.
Oh yeah. Hey, he talks so much shit though. He is funny though.
So
I actually like him. He's funny.
Next question on my mind anyway. We'll start with Nate on this one. How many primetime games do the Lions get when this schedule comes out tomorrow, Nate?
At least 4.
6.
How many?
6.
He said 6.
6. Okay. And do you want to dare to say what that split up might be as far as Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night?
Every game he said, every team he said at first, that's what he picked for prime time.
I don't mean what teams. I'm saying what days are those primetime games going to
fall? Mondays and
Sundays. You said 6.
I hate them Thursday. Thursday game. Ugh.
It's terrible. I hate Thursday games, but
I think
we're going to have 2 Mondays, 3 Sundays, and a Thursday.
No, Thanksgiving Thursday, so that don't even count. So
I'm not counting that
2 Thursdays.
True, but he's
no.
So
we're going to have 1 Thursday night game. That's prime time. Remember, Thanksgiving is in prime time.
Yeah.
So 2 Monday nights.
We'll be having Saturday night games
3 Sunday. I know, but the only time you really get to them Saturdays is toward the end of the season. Playoff.
I think we'll play Dallas on Saturday again. I think we'll play Dallas.
But here's the thing. That's those Saturday games be flex games.
They do, don't they?
That they move.
That's right.
But they're not the original schedule. They won't be there, but they'll move.
Bobby, how many primetime games and what's the split up, my friend?
4 or 5. 2 Monday nights. 2 Monday nights, a Sunday night for sure, and maybe a Saturday. That's it right there. It's gonna be definitely 2 Monday nights though.
Okay, so you got 2 Monday nights, 1 Sunday night, and
a Saturday. Yeah.
Nate, you got 3 Sunday nights, 1 Thursday night, and 2 Monday nights, right? I'm writing all this down so we can see.
I hate them Thursday games, man. They suck, man.
All right, so for me, I'm gonna say I think we're gonna have 3 Monday night football games.
Oh wow.
1 Sunday night football game, and that's what I got. I got 3 Monday nights and 1 Sunday night, because I think people realize just how big of a pull ratings wise, Detroit is. So I got 3 Monday night football games and a Sunday night football game. So I got 4.
Oh, you don't think no Saturday, huh, brother? You don't think no Saturday?
I'm not taking any Saturday, and here's why I didn't do Thursday night. Okay, just so people know.
Why?
I don't think Thursday night is for teams that draw crowds. I think Thursday night is the NFL's way of saying, let's get those smaller markets some love. Like a Jacksonville or something like that. Those are the.
But they put them on Prime though, so Thursday night game Prime though.
Why would you want to stick Detroit on Amazon Prime when Detroit
they did last
pull the ratings? Because remember, here's the other thing: Fox and ESPN. They're all owned by the same people, Disney. NBC is owned by Comcast, Universal. And then, of course, you have Amazon, which is obviously owned by Amazon, I guess Netflix is going to have a couple games this year as well. So we'll wait.
You lying.
No. They were talking about Netflix.
Man, just get the hell on, man.
They're going to make sure you got to buy everything.
Man, all these damn apps, I'm sick of this shit.
I don't have to because I found a way to not have to do that. So
okay.
My way's great. It might buffer a couple.
I think I might got all the apps already though. That's even worse.
So here we go. Thanksgiving. So let's go back to that.
The Bears. That's gonna definitely be the Bears.
Let's go back to that list here just to be safe. That list of home games: Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota, Rams, Seattle, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Buffalo. Nate, we'll go with you first, my friend. Thanksgiving, who's it going to be?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Again, I don't.
Well, you got to think about it. We had Buffalo. Buffalo
Yeah,
got
we
away,
did.
and the ratings on that game was pretty high.
Okay.
The ratings on that game was pretty high. So I think it's going to be Buffalo. I doubt we won't see Minnesota's trash. Uh, I don't think they're going to put Chicago out there yet. Maybe next year or so. But I'm gonna go
Oh,
with Buffalo.
you know what? The NFL is dirty. They dirty. Now I think about it. You know what they would do for Thanksgiving?
Don't you dare say it. Don't you dare say it.
To bring Stafford ass home.
You said Bears, so I'm putting you down for Bears.
No, fuck the Bears.
The Rams.
The Rams. I think I'm with you. I think I'm with you, Elijah. Nope. Nope. Not the Bears. Nope. The Rams. Yeah. Elijah said it.
That would be
that
dirty.
Game would
That'd
be
dirty.
Amazing.
That'd be dirty.
Would be off the hook.
Boy, they're gonna be fighting in the stadium. They love that boy Stafford, man.
That would be amazing if that ended up being.
I can see Stafford humming all all through the damn pregame show.
Come on.
Talk about how his time was in Detroit. Yeah. No.
So I gotta ask our comment section.
I
what
agree.
Do y'all think? Who do y'all think is going to be our Thanksgiving opponent? Me and Bobby are on the Rams. Nate saying Buffalo again. What do you guys say in the comment section below? Who's going to be that Thanksgiving opponent? And who's going to be the one opponent? Let us know in the comments below. Do want to say War to Horseman. I believe I got it right. Or no, it's War Damn Hammer. I think it is, right? I can't.
No, Horseman.
Horseman. All right, I had it right the first time. He tuned in. He said, what's up, Lions family? Bobby Bless leaving a comment on there as well. We got some folks still watching. But, yeah, I wrote all those down. I wrote all those prediction downs for number of primetime games and for the Thanksgiving opponent. So we'll find out tomorrow at 8 o'clock whether any of us were on point. Now, I will say.
Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I keep cutting you off, man. I love you, brother. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like, I just want to say, I can't wait till that schedule come out because I will be planning all my vacation times around that. So I'm going to. And the blessing is I work in the department right now. None of those guys are like football fanatics like I am. So I can take off various days without them even knowing. So it's going to be lovely.
Yeah,
I'm calling that in.
I think that's a great situation for you, my friend. I'm happy that you have that. For me, I'm lucky because I don't work weekends. I work Monday through Friday.
Right.
Every weekend off, so I'm lucky in that way. But yeah, I'm curious to see what people think about that Thanksgiving game. And it looks like War to Horseman says Cowboys will be the Turkey Day game.
No, they got it. They got their own home game on Thanksgiving. That's not gonna happen.
You know what though? That would be interesting if the NFL said, "Let's consolidate those two things."
They not, because those Dallas fans, they'd be pitching you or know what talking about that. Yeah, because they get to play that. They get to play their own home game on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, but again, if that's your guess, that's your guess, War to Horseman. Don't change it just because Bobby.
Man, Horseman changed that. That ain't gonna be it, man.
I know for me though, I saw that and I said the Rams on Thanksgiving, that would get ratings. It would not be a boring game.
It would. I swear it would be, and it would be because it'd be like Stafford coming home, and then it would be interesting. If we are the Lions fans, that's gonna boo him on Thanksgiving. I can hear it now.
You know what's
that's
funny?
That's gonna be a good question.
Is Thanksgiving is that time of year where you have all the relatives come home, even
right.
that maybe you don't like so much anymore. So
right. That's all that comes together. Oh my God!
It would kind of be fitting for here.
I can see it now.
Things might be a little awkward around Thanksgiving. That's all I'm
saying. Yeah. That'd be good, though.
And War to Horseman said he's sticking to his pick of the Cowboys
Don't listen to him. Hey, Elijah, you brainwashed him. You brainwashed him. Yeah, hey, Horseman, I'm telling you, bro, it ain't happening, man. It ain't happening.
That's funny.
I love you, bro.
So we covered primetime games. We covered Thanksgiving. I'm trying to think of what else could we talk about with the schedule. Oh, here's one. When do we play our outdoor games? Do you think it'll be on the front side of the schedule or in the back side with the colder weather? Bobby, I'll go.
Oh, they making us go to Green Bay in the cold this year. I promise you that. Because we've been avoiding that the last 2 years. We're going to Green Bay in December this year.
Yeah, we might have too.
Yeah. Oh, them in Chicago, huh? They making them on the back in December, ain't they? Oh, they'll be dirty dogs for that. Because we did, Elijah, that was such a great point. Because we got lucky last year staying outside that damn cold, didn't we?
Right. Especially down
no motherfucking golfing gloves.
Oh, that's gonna happen, man.
You know what? That goes back to another situation. We figured out the package, fellas. We figured it out. If it is 30 degrees or below, Hendon Hooker's playing.
Hey,
there we go. We solved it. We figured it out.
Hey, I got you, Elijah. As soon as he put the gloves on, you ain't starting. I can see you now. You can start.
Walk over.
Oh, you ain't give him gloves before he can sit the hell down. No, you got him gloves. I bet Hooker come. Just like this.
We got a Hooker, and he works on Sundays. Let's go,
man.
Hold on,
no gloves, Hooker.
I'm telling you what, Bobby's gonna put that in the chat. The first time Jared Goff puts the gloves on.
Oh yeah, put it in the put it in the hell yeah, I will. I promise you that's going to happen. You dirty for that too.
I would love to see the language of the contract to see if maybe they said in the contract, no gloves. You are not allowed.
And I swear, man, he can't throw one incomplete pass with them damn gloves on before I'm gonna want to get the damn backup in there, man. I swear. I forgot about that.
If it's below 30 and there's wind, it's Hendon Hooker. If it's above 30, it's Jared Goff. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. I'm down. Sign me up.
All right. Here's another question we can ask. Because again, we're kind of doing a bunch of predictions tonight, if y'all can't tell. But another question. Last year we had 2 1,000-yard running backs. Will we repeat that? Bobby, I'm gonna go to you first.
Now, what'd you say? Repeat that. I was off.
I said last year we had 2 1,000-yard rushers. Will we repeat that this year?
We better, because that seemed like the formula. You know what I mean? But I would like to see us implement Jameson Williamson more. So I don't know. Does his success take away from some of that, and vice versa? Because from what I'm hearing and hoping, hey, he's gonna be a main piece of this offense. So I'm gonna say yes, but I hope for even more than we had last year.
Okay. Nate, last year we had 2 1,000-yard rushers. Will we repeat that?
Yes.
Okay. Do y'all have any prediction on who will lead the team in rushing? Nate, you first.
Oh, Gibbs.
Jameer gets the yards. Montgomery gets the touchdown. Jameer's going to have the most receiving yards out of the running backs. I think our highest yards per carry is going to be Jameer.
Yeah.
Our most broken tackles may be Jameer.
Yeah, I think he's sweet. Bad, man. He's sweet.
Every time I think about Jahmyr Gibbs, I get happy inside. I'm just gonna say it.
Shut the hell up, man.
You want to judge me for that, but I'm so damn happy this guy's on our team.
Where's my gavel? Fuck. Where's the gavel? I'm judging.
And apparently, I have a Jahmyr Gibbs rookie card coming my way.
I do. But I got a Bobby Blessing though. You feel me? Okay. I gotta put it in my little. I gotta put it in my little. I gotta grade it for you. I gotta grade it for you and everything. I haven't messed with my cards in 2 months. I'm going through an inventory at work, so I've been busy. But it's coming. You'll always have a Jahmyr Gibbs card. You just don't have it in your house yet. You always have it though. Trust me.
I've been checking my mailbox every day and walking back.
Hey, it's in good. Hey, I'm taking care of it. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. I got you.
Hey, you got to
Got you.
realize them mailboxes in Messina, they're not exactly close to the house.
That's right.
Little
That's
house on
right.
the prairie up
I
there.
gotta walk my ass out there, and then I gotta beat up on the autograph hounds. Pause. Anyway, but like
Hey,
I said,
Elijah. But I mark my words, man. I'll start. I will give it to you before the end of the month. It will be headed
y'all
that
heard
way
it.
before
Y'all
the end
heard
of the
it here
month.
first. You heard it here first on the
Yeah,
podcast.
I just been, sitting at home, blowed and watching TV, man. I've been scrubbed for a minute. I ain't been trying to mess with them cards because as soon as I pull out the cards, man, that's like 3 hours gone, man. I'm telling you, man, it's a time-consuming thing.
This isn't really Lions related, but I know my fellas will certainly agree with me on this. So I've been playing NCAA 12. I got a PS3. So I've been playing NCAA 12 like in my spare time to like relax, outside of writing scripts and doing the movie.
Are you
stuff
gonna get a new one, huh?
I'm hoping to get the new one for sure. But right now I'm on a 133 game winning streak on NCAA 12.
Right,
I've won
you really just parked
133
your
games
ass
in a
on
row.
the side.
And I've won 9 national championships.
You must have read my lips.
I won 5 national championships at Vanderbilt, and then I've won 4 in a row at Georgia Tech. But yeah, I've got a 133 game winning streak going on NCAA.
A PS3, huh? You really Little House on the Prairie. He ain't lying, man.
I do have a PS4, but I don't find Madden to be as entertaining as the college football game.
Yeah, but I can't wait to see the college football this year, though. Like, I can't wait, bro.
Apparently, there's going to be an information drop about the college football game. 16,
so
2 days.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. Good, thank you.
You're welcome. See, that's why I'm here.
I see, man. Thank you, brother.
Ward of Horseman says Gibbs will have more yards and total touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, hey,
I hope so. I hope he. I really hope he supports that number one back. You know what I mean? Because he definitely got it.
But you got a guy in
every
though.
play.
You
know what I mean? But don't get it twisted. Montgomery is like a good old Ford truck. He reliable. So I don't want to. I don't want to not feed the beast too. If you get my drift, Elijah.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And like I said, they're thunder and lightning. So you might you might as well use both of them. But I do.
And they both can take it to the house because I remember against San Diego, Montgomery took one all the way too.
But I do think there's some merit in saying that Gibbs will probably be the feature back because last year he had to learn the system and get comfortable. But then once he did, it was a lot more of him first. So, but we got another question here, 2 more, and then we'll get to closing remarks. So wide receivers, who is leading the team in receiving yards, and will Jameson Williams catch a bunch of touchdowns this year, Bobby?
Oh, for sure. Okay, of course. The reason why I'm gonna say St. Brown lead the team in receiving yards because he the one get open. He gets open. You can't catch all those passes without being the one that gets open. So I'm gonna say receiving yards, but I'm gonna also say catches too. Yards and catches is gonna be St. Brown, but the most explosive plays, that's plays of past 30 yards or so, they say, right? Something around there?
Yeah.
So most explosive plays, either on the ground or in the air, is going to be Jameson Williams. And I'm interested to see I'm just interested to see him, man, because I've been hearing that he's been doing more of the route tree. Yeah. Every time he gets the ball, he's better than the last time he got the ball. So it's interesting to see how they're going to give him the ball, kind of thing. So that's what my optimism is. And let's not forget about LaPorta too, man. He like one of the best tight ends in the league. It's a lot of people that I talk to, like during the course of the day, relatives, family members, people at work. They we talk about the Lions offense or weapons, Laporta name always come up. So we gotta make sure we feed him the ball. It's a good thing. It's a good problem, man. It's a good problem.
So for me, I'm going to say I think St. Brown will once again lead the team in receptions because as Bobby just, put it, St. Brown gets open. St. Brown gets open. Yardage-wise, I think St. Brown will lead the team in receiving yards. But I think touchdown receptions, that's going to be Jamison Williams.
So what's the other spot?
I don't know, man.
But here's why I'm saying that. Jamison Williams, this is a very important year for him. This is year 3. This is year 3 of him being on this team. Year 1 was taken from him due to injury. Year 2, part of it was taken from him due to a suspension. This is year 3. And he only has a 4-year deal with the Lions with a 5th-year option, I do believe, because he was a first-round draft pick. So if he has that 5th-year option, he can't take this year for granted, okay? If he doesn't have a 5th-year option, being a wide receiver, he really can't take this year for granted because Brad Holmes is not going to say, okay, so what you did last year is good enough for us to give you a huge second contract. No, he's got to do some stuff this year. He's got to be consistent. He's got to show up and make his presence known in every single game.
Yeah, but I will give him this much credit, though. That's true, Elijah, but he was the most explosive thing in that NFC Championship.
He was.
I swear he was. He looked like the best.
That.
Yes, definitely. But what he was doing, I haven't seen any of these Lions players do all year. Nothing against Gibbs and nothing against Montgomery. Like when he took that reverse to the house in the first half, oh my God, he looked like he was the best player on the field. And I can see him bringing more of that to the table. And I can see him taking that place of Josh Reynolds too, man, because he bring more to the table than Josh Reynolds do.
I agree. But like I said, he's got to become a consistent receiver. Running more than just a go route. He's got to be more than just a gadget player. And like I said, he's got to put up some serious numbers this year because if he doesn't, he's not giving himself much to talk about whenever he goes to the negotiation table. So this is a big year for Jamison Williams. That's why I'm saying St. Brown will lead the team in receptions and yards, but I don't think he'll lead the team in touchdowns out of the receivers position. I think that'll be Jamison Williams because I think that he is going to want to make sure his presence is felt in as many ways as he can, whether it be kickoff return, whether it be receiving touchdowns, whether it be running, reverses and things like that. I think he could be primed for a big year. He better be at the very least, because otherwise it's going to be very awkward when they start talking about my client wants a new contract and Detroit says, yeah, our football team wants a more consistent player. Because all the excuses are gone. There are no more excuses. He rehabbed the injury. He's off of the suspension. He's had a full training camp, or at least he will. Now what? And I believe in the kid, so I think he's going to do great. But I'm just saying that's going to be a storyline to kind of watch out for this upcoming offseason. Nate, let me go to you, man. I know you and I and everybody on this show, we've all been supporters of Jamison Williams. But do you agree with me that this is a very important for him?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely important. I mean, it's going to be the time for, whether he's going to shine or not.
I was mentioning, you know how y'all be.
So that's the key part, man. It's going to be, is he really, really going to show his growth? Is he going to show his maturity? Is he ready? Because if it backfires, then they're going to be like, okay, you should have taken a wide receiver. So, he just has to prove like, hey, he's more than just a go route type of guy. Has he become a better route runner? Is he hitting the judge machine? It's just a lot that comes into that when you're talking about growth. And so we're just hoping that he makes it.
And last question that I have for you guys before we get to closing remarks. I got to ask, who do you think will be the best player on defense? It's a two-part question. Who do you think will be the best player on defense, and how much more improved do you expect our defense to be? Give me a number between 1 and 32 where you think our defense will rank. Bobby, I'm going to go to you first.
Okay, I think the best player is still gonna be Aiden Hutchinson, because even if we get something to that pass rush, and if you not double teaming him, he getting back there, and I see us in the top 15 still. I still ain't all that impressed because I would have liked to see more with the pass rush, to be honest. So I'm gonna give us top 15, and that's pretty decent to me.
Give me a specific number, Bobby.
Okay, 12.
Okay, so Bobby's saying Aiden Hutchinson and 12th ranked defense overall.
Yeah.
Nate Rucker, our resident defensive coordinator, who's the best player on this defense this season, and give me a number as to where you think our defense will rank.
I never rock.
Number 12. I'm gonna say number 12 overall. And best player on defense is gonna be
Okay, so Nate is copying Bobby's homework. That's what's happening.
No. Great minds think alike. That's
So
all that is. I learned. Hey, everything I know is mostly because of him anyway. So
for sure, I can respect that. So for me, I'm gonna dare to be different. Okay, I'm gonna dare to be different as I usually do on this show. So I am going to stay with Aiden Hutchinson as the best player on the defense. That should be no surprise to anybody. But my surprise is I think by the end of this season, we are going to be, out of 32 teams, the 5th ranked defense. I'm seeing us making a major improvement this year. And I think it's going to be a situation where teams are going to struggle throwing the ball against us. And they were already struggling last year to run the ball against us. So I'm going to say, I believe in Aaron Glenn. This is the year that it comes together for the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be top 5 defense at number 5. And Aiden Hutchinson is going to go off this year. That's what I got. So with that being said, we're at 7:35 here. I do want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, but let's get to some closing remarks here. Nate Rucker, we'll start with you.
we just, leave Jared Goff alone. He deserves it. Leave Jared Goff alone. He got his money. He deserved it. At least he proved it before, like Stafford did. They gave it to him a damn contract before he really proved any goddamn thing. At least Jared proved it. You ain't never seen the 4th field call Matthew Stafford name out like they was doing Jared Goff.
Nope.
So,
nope. They called Matt Flynn name first. No, I'm joking.
Oh my God, Bobby, go ahead.
No, anyway. No, man, it's good, man. It's closer and closer football season, man. I love living in a football house with a football wife, man, because we talk about football every day, man. So we get closer and closer to that fall, and then the leaves change color. And that's my favorite time of year, man. So that being said is hurry up football. Please hurry up, because I am ready to just sit back and just, enjoy having a winning team, hopefully. Well, not even hopefully no more. I don't got to hope. I didn't seen it before. So I just want the good times to keep continuing.
So for me, for my closing remarks, I want to thank Bobby, and I want to thank Nate, and I want to thank Reggie. Because without these three, we would not have the On the Hunt podcast. So I want to thank them for their dedication to the show. We've done 70 episodes. Can y'all believe that? 70 episodes we've been doing this. That's crazy to me. So I do want to thank again everybody for being a part of this program, and I can't wait for episode 71. But just to recap some of our predictions from tonight, for anybody that wants to kind of write this down real quick for tomorrow night's schedule release and see how close we are or how far off we are.
Man, I swear you are a shit starter.
Here are some of the predictions, okay? For Nate Rucker, he's saying we're going to have 3 Sunday night football games, 1 Thursday night football game, 2 Monday night football games, and he's saying get ready for Thanksgiving against the Buffalo Bills. Bobby Bless is saying 2 Monday Night Football games, 1 Sunday Night Football game, 1 Saturday football game. I am saying 3 Monday Night Football games, 1 Sunday Night Football game, and me and Bobby are both telling y'all at home, get ready, because Thanksgiving's about to be a little awkward because that relative's coming to town, Matthew Stafford. That's right. So that's what we're thinking is the Rams
and put the horseman up there too, man. Put the horseman up there too with his damn Cowboys and Cowboys.
Ward the Horseman is rooting for something that has never happened in the history of Thanksgiving, which is the Cowboys are going to say, you know what? We don't like money, and we're just going to go to Detroit. So that's so you know
I'm
what?
Really, though. I'm rolling with the
We're laughing now, but we might not be laughing at 8
he might get the last one.
We'll see.
Boy, I'd be so humbled. I swear I would be.
And of course, your dad is a Cowboys fan, so that'll be even better if that does work out.
Oh yeah. Dad cooked too, so it's gonna be wonderful. I hope he pulled it off.
So with all that being said, my friends, hey, remember, if you come across a situation this week where your skill set can make that situation better, you now not only have the ability, you have the responsibility. And remember to be good to yourself and be good to others in that order. For Reggie Funchess, for the #1 Lions fan, Bobby Bless, for Nate Rucker, our resident defensive coordinator, I'm Elijah Winfrey. This is the On the Hunt podcast. Hey, thank y'all so much for tuning in. And I hope y'all have a fantastic week. Go